Good afternoon. Now, I came to enjoy myself in the annual seminar. But unfortunately, there's no free lunch, no free everything. So between you and me, I don't want to be a liar. I was ambushed at around 10 o'clock that you have got to come and tell the story, but I say yes. Now, as you have been told, George was in the maternity ward. And me, I'm a coward, I didn't go there. I waited for the baby to come out. That's where the story starts. So if you want the maternity ward story, when the labor started, what they did, George will tell the story. Now the child is born, called the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, with 3 responsibilities. Training your members. Remember at the time we were told we were only 12. 12. Can you imagine starting an institute with 12? Our government did much better. They went to the bush with 27. But here we are 12 members. Don't laugh some of the things, very serious. So the institute is supposed to train people. It's supposed to set standards. And it's supposed to be a
recording in progress.
Now, why are you recording me? So, mind you, this child at that time didn't have a accommodation. Somebody came to rescue, got us accommodation. Didn't have staff, got skeleton staff on board. Obviously, the members were about 12 or 15 or 20. They slowly came to 30. They go for a first annual seminar in Mbarara, 44 people, but I can tell you 44 is a lie, because everybody went with a wife. So I don't know if you count, because the information who went with the wife is not recorded. But the information recorded, 44 attended at Lake V. But everybody went with the wife, and all the wives were participants. So you can imagine. You can imagine what is happening. So the challenge at the time was, how do you make the institute visible? By the institute being visible, members will be visible. Because if you leave the institute and you're not visible, the members will never be known. It is like being born by a father and mother who is not known. Or somebody we say traditional, some people who has no name. Surely you not have a name. So at this early time, we had to start building the name for the institute. So it was not easy. And at the time we were faced with other people who had a name. We had ACCA, I'm an ACCA graduate. ACCA had a global name. We had SIMA, had a global name. Gadu is a CA, they had a global name. CPA Kenya had a global name. For us, we didn't. But that's the beginning. And you're beginning with members, all of them are not graduates of the local institute. We are all graduates of these organizations which have got a global name. So the question is, do you associate yourself with a baby who has no name, or you associate yourself with SEC and the rest? That's where the challenge was, which we had to overcome. So we started a journey of making the institute visible against all odds. First of all, we didn't have money for advertising. We didn't have any single coin, because even the building, it was a donation. And there were about 20 members. Even if they paid the money, it will not be enough to advertise the new vision and the rest. So, at that time, I organized a meeting, I don't know where, George, you remember, of the 4 big farms, informal, to see how well we can assist the institute to get visibility. That meeting came out with challenges, which few I agreed with. The challenge which came out was, who is supposed to promote the other? The regulated or the regulator? Because the institute is a regulator, mind you. Do you see yourself promoting your boss, and when your boss becomes and he will fire you? So the question is, which you have to answer, who is supposed to support the other? Do we promote the institute? What about our own businesses? I was the managing partner of Ernst & Young. A guy who was the managing partner of PwC. Who was the managing partner of KPMG at the time, and Deloitte, I don't recall. 2 years out of saturation has done a lot of harm to me. So, but you can read the books of history. So there was that issue. Who is to regulate, who is to promote the other? Which we said cannot be answered at that time. Then there was the issue of losing clients. When we come together, we bring our team like this, you bring the clients of Ernst & Young, PwC, Deloitte in one room. How sure are you, Muhaise, will not approach one and take the client? That was another angle, which I agreed with. We packed it. What about training? We are talking about training. Who is to train? We only told about you about 20. I could only train by sharing what I had in Ernst & Young. We could only train by sharing what he had in PwC. So we could only share. The question is, can you train your future competitor? What happens when they become big and overrun you? Those were the issues at the time, which you agreed with, by the way. Because people were starting their own individual firms, small ones, and they were the big firms. So do you give them the know-how? For example, they wanted to learn how to do auditing. Do you give them a methodology? Tomorrow we'll be competing with you. So we said, okay, that one is noted. Then we ask ourselves, what do we do? We have a saying in my language: if you want to be brown, you lean against an anthill. Many of you might not know the color of an anthill. It is brown or reddish, like those chairs. If you want to have a color of that chair, you lean against it. I have also a personal view that if I've got to be rich, I've got to help somebody become rich. There's no you can become rich out of the blues. If you are rich and surrounded by poor, you end up being poor. So you've got to make sure your environment, you become more rich. So there is some cross-pollination. There's no little business you can discuss with somebody who doesn't have $1. He wants $1 to eat, for you want $1 to invest. What type of debate will that be? The challenge we had, there was a council of the institute, and we wanted to volunteer. Mind you, volunteering to promote the institute, to make it visible. We didn't have a budget. The institute did not have a budget. So we approached the council. Please, we need to promote the institute. The council said, yes, you can go ahead and promote the institute, but on a self-financing basis, no money from the institute. So you can do anything on a self-financing arrangement. Okay, we went further. Okay, if you're going to do on a self-financing arrangement, give us independence. Because normally committees of the council report to the council strictly. For one reason or another, when the institute was starting, the events committee was given almost full autonomy. We report to the council our results. And God was with us. All the results were positive. So in the long run, they developed a lot of confidence in the committee, and we moved on. But the committee has not yet been formed, by the way. So then we ask ourselves, who would be the volunteers? At that time, I was one, and with the CEO of the institute, would sometimes talk with George, how to go about it. We understand George's problem. We understood so I said, okay, who would be the volunteers? I offered myself to volunteer. I happened to come from the Big Four. If I offer myself to volunteer, means the other people cannot come in, because they the issues I talked about earlier. So I said I can't push any further. They will do whatever they can, but I found a way of getting them on board anyway. We found a way, which I will tell you as we move on. Then I had to approach 2 other firms. One of them was Thacker & Co. Senior Thacker, Naru Thacker, and PKF, Darar. Why we approached? In order to survive, I said we have got to have an Indian mentality. There was the issue we discussed here. What do? We have got to get people who know how to squeeze blood out of a stone. And I said, how to squeeze blood out of the stone, I've got to get Indians on board. So I approached my friend Saka. He says, Saka, where are you? Say, I'm here. We want to do this. He says, okay, I agree with you. Darara, where are you? Here I am. We go ahead. And initially we made Saka our chairman. So the committee, initial committee was Darar, Saka, myself, and the CEO of the institute. But later on, we addressed issues of succession. We said, we are aging. We can't do everything on our own. We brought in younger blood, which you see now on the stage. So we addressed the issues of succession 27 years ago. That's why you see David came on board when he was still a young boy, very young. But now you can see he's big enough, even gets the guts to tell me come on the stage and talk. Congratulations, David. You need to thank him. Like he has done a good job. So what was the agenda of the volunteers? 1, you have got to volunteer. 2, you had to be a mobilizer, a very good mobilizer. 3, you have got to have effective network. Effective. If you remember initially when we started the conferences, I was talking about networking. Effective network. Fundraising and lobbying. So we are cleared. And we said, then, what do we do to raise money? What do we do to make the members aware? What do we do to promote the institute? Even if you wanted to go to Bank of Uganda and say, I want money, you have got to have an activity. There's no money which anybody can give you without getting visibility. So we say we want to be visible. Other people also want to be visible. We came out with 3 initial, but finally there was an additional item. It was a budget breakfast, economic forum, annual seminar. Later on, fire award. We said those 4 activities will give the institute visibility, will give our members visibility, will give our stakeholder visibility, will give the country visibility. So we worked on those. We organized budget breakfast, we organized the annual seminar, we organized economic forum with a way to give our members visibility, to give the institute visibility, to give our stakeholders visibility, but having in mind the training. Remember the 4 cores of the institute. Meanwhile, building capacity. Then we said, let's split the technical and the issue. If you check the first annual seminar, had a lot of technical. We said this, if you invite members to come to the annual seminar and you push them with standards, they will not come. So we said anything to do with standard, everything monthly, push them to monthly. So annual seminar is purely for enriching the members in areas. They are not, so it's not core to them. Issues of heresy, issues of, like those things. So these meetings were held to give more information to our members so that they could become more effective in the way delivering their work. So the first annual seminar was held Lake Vic in Mbarara, attended by the 44 members, including their wives. The second one was attended At Windsor, I think, I'm not sure it could have been Windsor or it could have been Hotel Africana, one of the two, Windsor. We used Hotel Africana, but when we were at Hotel Africana, you know, below the swimming pool, there is a room below the swimming pool, there is a room. We could hardly fill that room. Yeah, they put us below the swimming pool. And for our break tea, we would come out outside below the swimming pool, so we would take our break tea. You can imagine how few we are. But from there, we worked hard. We did a lot of networking with the members. And then we developed a way, how could we get our members support us? Lobbying. We went back to the Big Four. Lobbied. Initially, almost every Big Four was contributing about 5 million for every activity annual seminar. 5 million cash. We said, okay, mind your own business, protect your whatever you want to do, but give us our 5 million. They comfortably gave us the money. And we went to institutions. We gave them the visibility required. We said, no, we are an upcoming institute. At that time, we were over 100 members with the most qualified people in this country, with every member a CFO of an organization. So you have no choice. Where the CFO go, you must come. They agreed with us. And mind you, we are telling them we are the most, mind you, the team, remember the team, Dalala was a managing partner of PKF. Saka was the managing partner of Saka & Co. I was the managing partner of E&Y. You get a delegation like that coming to get business from you, I'm sure. 2 Indians and 1 black. You'll be convinced that was one good business. But I didn't want to say it. At one stage, people doubted my color. They said, you are not so, the way you talk, the way you behave, you are not black. So because I remain black, they call me a black Indian. So for all enough, you'll be told you are 2 Indians and 1 black. So we organize that way. So the conference began. Initially, there was, the initial attendance would get about 200. We gave ourselves a target, let's get 240, let's get 340. We moved to 500, we moved to 700, we moved to 900, we moved to 1,100, we moved to 1,200. I think when I moved to 1,300, I handed over to David. It became too much to address the people. Remember at that time, the master of ceremony was a key guy. You can see David. Key guy because you are the one who knows. So David came in, and all the members who were involved also grew old. We became olds. We gave up. Some of the things which attracted members to the institute, to this annual seminar, we organize up to now leisure activities. Leisure. If you see, is it Wednesday or Thursday? Leisure activities. I remember one incident, we almost cried. We went for a boat ride. And on this bride, I think there was Bahemuka, there was myself, I think I don't know why he was with us. A boat just stopped on water. And mind you, all the organizers of the institute were on that boat. And it was becoming dark, 6:45. I can tell you, to see people who are black becoming red. People like Saka who are red becoming black. But good enough, we were rescued by the Marines boat. So as much as you think the army is not a good job, if they are not rescued us, some of us would be in history. So we are rescued by Marine boat. And we also organized, every dinner was formal. We said our members, they don't know formality. We said the first meeting, the first day, formal dress. That's why the first day we insisted. I can see some people are not formally dressed, maybe because when things have changed.com has come in. The first day, it was a requirement for everybody to be formal. Because if you're going to be a CFO, finally to be a CFO, you have got to have that visibility of somebody formal. All our dinners were formal, especially that on Friday. And all our dinners were properly arranged with good music and everything. That's why you find dinners formally arranged, everything formally arranged. But nowadays, I was here for Economic Forum. That standard of formality has gone away. You find somebody coming for dinner in shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, shorts are not meant for dinner for a CFO or for a chief executive. If we can't respect ourselves, who will respect us? That's the idea. So where there is a requirement for formality, let's be formal. Please, let's be formal. Because you heard Julius talking about, these are the things which count when you are being interviewed for a job. When you come to face me at the board level, what are the things we look at? This gentleman or lady, is he formal in all the way he behaves? You could be formal coming to see us at the board level, but I know you have got a full of informality somewhere else. For sure. I will have my second opinion. Another time also to engage the members, we had a lot of fun. You know, at that time, there was a night club at around Nkumba. Is it still there? It closed. Yeah, that night club around Nkumba, after the dinner would go on until around 11, 12 in the night. So then we will have the night crew to go to Ntinda. And this night crew, you know, you heard it. It included people like George Egadu, Bahemuka, Mungereza, Balidawa. Yeah? But unfortunately, when all these people aged, Harriet Kiwanuka, the night collapsed. Because I was here for Economic Forum last month? By 10 o'clock, everybody was going to the room. I said, Bana, how can you look business by going to your room to do what in your room? And I looked at all the people around, they were single. Then I asked her, why did they rush? There was good music, good everything, good booze. There were not even good tea. Everybody's rushing. By the way, these activities are meant for networking. Yeah? And also when we are starting, we said, how can we preserve the pocket of a member? You know, you may think you are paying 2.4. Is it 2.4? But if the institute was to offload all the cost to you, this annual seminar will not be attended by many. Because apart from paying that, everything is free. You don't, apart from paying what you pay, everything is free, including the drink. When there's a black level, you can drink as much as you want in case it's there. But I came to realize, at that time we used to drink a lot of black label. Nowadays the bottles have become fewer. You know why you used to drink a lot of black label? Saka Naru Saka, who was the managing partner of Saka and Co, was offering us 12 bottles of black label at each meeting. So we had a stock of 12 bottles. And I used to bring some. So the institute used to, before we hold a meeting, about 20. So we are covered that way. So in that way, members used to come to educate themselves, network, do business. That's what you see up to this day. I'm very grateful to all of you. You are still coming. Keep it up, please. Keep it up. But as you can see, we have reached this world because of volunteerism. People have spared their time. I forgot one thing. The institute did not have an auditor, let alone an accountant. Initially, I said I would audit the books of the institute without any pay. And I did it for 6 years. After that, we were followed by Dr. who? This John in Parampa. He also offered to audit the institute. So as you can see the institute the way it is effort of the people who were there at the very beginning. And also we said, for every meeting of the institute, at that time I used to call it a laugh. I think they started by giving 10,000. Was it 10,000? 10,000. Just, we said token of appreciation. 10,000. It came to 20. I don't know how much it is. Token of appreciation. Just token. Because basically to see at least somebody has come. Token of appreciation. Otherwise, everything was volunteer spirit, networking, which has brought us to this far. My prayer to you, keep up the spirit of volunteerism, keep up the spirit of promoting the institute. This is the spirit which has made our institute grow from 12 to 3,989. Please let's clap ourselves. That's a good achievement. And this is a spirit which has made our institute to become the most pronounced in organizing successful meeting in this country, apart from the Kenya Institute. But as far as this country is concerned, Rwanda, Southern Sudan, we are number 2 to Kenya. You know, Kenya was there in the 70s. So we are the most organized professional body in this country in terms of meeting, in terms of lobbying, and all is due to your effort. Please clap for yourself. And continue. And it's one of the meetings which is attended by anybody we invite to come and address, by the way. Anybody we invite. There's one candidate we have not invited. I was overruled. I wanted to invite him, but when I was still the chair, I was told, don't. But we are waiting to invite one. Everybody in this country has been here, with the exception of the excellence, I think. Everybody. He came. He came when we were organizing what? ACOA, and I was also in charge. So he came for ACOA. Yeah, old age. Yeah, all that brim. So everybody in this country has come, from Chief Justice and everybody. So I can tell you, it reached a stage, at one stage, because, at one stage, URA, sorry, my sister, I think, who is a commissioner, I don't see her around. It's left because I don't see her around. We told them, all the tax advisors, auditors, auditing the accounts of the going to URA should be audited by members. But they ask us, how many are you? We are about 120. 120 cannot audit the whole country. The rest also continue. But when we reach the number, the governor himself wrote a circular to all banks. I think the URA also is insisting on it. So now the whole game is set up. Yeah, we have reached that level. If you continue the same speed, if you continue the lobbying, if you continue the networking, the most disappointing thing is when members come to the institute, this annual seminar, which we have been noting, there's little networking, or people who are not close members. You find from Ernest and Young, I will sit next to Ernest, URA next to URA, KPMG next to KPMG, National Water next to National Water, President next to a President. What do you benefit if you have been presidents? What do you benefit? Mixed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all I can recall. What I've forgotten, you excuse my old age. So I wish you a good stay and a good deliberation and a good enjoyment during your stay.
Thank you, CPA John. Thank you. Wow. Once again, can we just appreciate our senior CPA, volunteer, mobilizer, organizer, everything.